The PlayStation Drive is starting. While you wait, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell icon on YouTube to be notified of future goodness. If you enjoy our show, we'd love it if you gave us a 5-star review or rating on your podcast service of choice. To continue the conversation, join the Carpool Gaming Discord, where you can find a wholesome community to have a chit-chat with. For some exclusive content, you can also support us on Patreon. And finally, don't forget to check out the Carpool Gaming website for an awesome range of merch. Links to all that and more are in the show notes, but without further ado, let's get revved up for the PlayStation Drive. Whoa.
What's up, everybody? Welcome on in. This is the PlayStation Drive, episode 183. I'm one of your hosts, Ryan, and I am talking in a weird voice tonight, and I'm joined by Fulia, Matt, and Ron. How is everyone going tonight? This is a kind of a mix of the guy from Crazy Taxi and a pirate. So, I hope everyone's doing
It
this.
sounded more like a guy that would be doing commentation for monster truck rallies.
That's exactly what I was thinking. Like Sunday.
Sunday.
Carolina Crusher and Bigfoot.
I do not understand that reference.
You don't know about monster trucks? What?
There's no monster
know
trucks
about
in Australia?
Yeah, we have monster trucks. I've never really watched them, so I have no idea what's going on.
I mean, I've never watched them either, but I know about Bigfoot because Bigfoot had his own NES video game all about Bigfoot the monster
and his
truck.
own cartoon with a few of the other
That's
monster
true.
trucks.
Bigfoot. had his own.
Interesting. Okay.
Amazing, isn't it?
I forgot about that.
Deep cut.
Yeah, Bigfoot, Black Gold, Gravedigger. Those were the trucks.
Grave digger. How like that? Clearly, I missed my calling being a monster truck.
Pretty good at it. You're pretty good at it.
You did a good job.
What can I say, Matt? I've had some practice. Anyways, this is the PlayStation. Now that all of our audio listeners have just turned the podcast off because they're just like, what is going on here?
They didn't show up for monster trucks. I'm sorry.
Good God. But this is the PlayStation Drive where I swear we talk about PlayStation all the time, except for when we're talking about monster trucks.
So why not?
Before we get into housekeeping, we got to talk about the weather. We got to spend at least 5 solid minutes talking about the weather. Because, Matt, we were in the polar vortex, but now the polar vortex has been lifted. It's very exciting.
Isn't that sad when it's like -8 and it's like, oh my God, so warm outside?
Yeah.
It's sad. It is sad to say that, but that's how I felt when the polar vortex finally stopped and it wasn't -30. When I went outside, I was like, -8. I could take off my jacket.
I was going to say, for Ron and Fulia, this week in Toronto, it was -30. And
Yeah, no thanks. It got down to like 15 degrees Fahrenheit for like 4 or 5 days in a row here. No, thank you. No, thank you. We don't do that here.
Okay, well, on the opposite side of the spectrum, today it is currently sitting at 31 degrees Celsius, going to hit a high of 39.
Jesus, that's too warm.
Oh,
You translate
And
that.
you want
Translate that to Fahrenheit, please.
Fahrenheit. Right now it's 88 Fahrenheit, and it's probably going to hit 100.
Okay. All right.
That's
80's high. 80's high.
Yeah.
80's high. That's
It's
high.
Also-
okay. Yeah,
It's high? No, it's all right.
it's high.
It's high. But also, I have to at least comment because, first of all, Fulia, you're back on the show with us, thankfully.
Yay.
But
Yes,
also,
welcome
you've
back.
got stuff in your background now.
I do!
Your house is starting to look like a house
right.
that people
That's right.
live in now.
Finally, I actually managed to bring in some of my stuff from the other house, and I kind of reorganized it too. So it looks a little different, but it's still the same shelf. And it's also a little further away. It used to be a lot closer to me, right behind me. Now it's a little further back, so you can actually see the whole shelf.
Now, while you were showing off the shelf, I purposely made our little chat window full screen because I'm scanning. I'm trying to find where the Pepsi can is in the background. It's got to be there somewhere.
Keep looking.
I'll find it eventually. Before the end of the show. I swear I will find where the Pepsi
Sounds
can
like the
is.
Pepsi can might be gone.
No,
could be
Fulia
trolling us
hasn't
and it's
denied
not
it.
there.
It has to be there somewhere. It has to be there somewhere. Oh, I think I see where it is. But anyways, I don't want to spoil it for the viewers.
We'll do
The
this. We'll do
viewers
the search
again.
later.
We'll do the search later because we need that shout out to Pepsi Man. But all of this has been going on, and there's just been this constant rapping at my chamber door because someone's just going housekeeping, and I just keep ignoring them because I keep talking about race car like monster
And weather.
trucks with Ron. But anyways, of course, we got new patrons over at patreon.com/carpoolgaming. Huge thank you to Habs fan for checking out the 7-day free trial, who's probably a big fan of the Montreal Canadiens. In case you don't know what a Hab is, the Montreal Canadiens, big fan of them, I guess. Oh, okay. The hockey club, Ron. They're a hockey team.
I know the hockey team. I don't know any of the players.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. Anyways, signing up for that 7-day free trial over on the Patreon. And for folks that didn't know, by the way, we have a lot of cool stuff on the Patreon, which we're going to talk about in a second. And there's a 7-day free trial that if you're not an exclusive member right now, you can go sign up over at patreon.com/carpoolgaming. Hop in there and check out some of the cool content. If you like it enough, you'll stick around past that and continue to support us in that awesome way. So make sure to check out over there. Of course, I love how Sean points out it's so much free content over on Patreon. Asterix, of course, free with a paid subscription, just like Game Pass or PlayStation Plus. So there you go. Speaking of Patreon, of course, we've got a bunch of new Patreon content. Mitch's Pants episode went out this morning. You can go check that out right now if you'd like. Bowser is up next. If you have questions for Bowser, of course, as always, anyone, even if I want people to know, even if you're not a patron, as long as you have a Patreon account, you can go to the questions post over at patreon.com/carpoolgaming and ask Bowser a question. So if you've got a question for Bowser this week on the Pants Patreon podcast for Patriots podcast, even if you're not a patron, feel free to leave a question for her over there. Of course, Fulia, I'm glad you're back this week because a very special thing is coming to the Patreon sometime soon. We can't say when yet, but tell us a little about it.
So we've recorded a little new podcast, short and sweet, and it's the mini indie van. It's starting this year, and my first co-host is Ron.
Yes, that guy right there.
The bear does play indies. The bear plays indies.
Yeah.
That's where he gets all his platinum trophies from.
Not all of them, but quite a bit.
Yes, so I'm very excited to say that the mini indie van is coming to fruition. It will be coming to your feeds very, very soon. And I can't wait for you all to listen to it because we had good fun with it.
We did.
So be on the lookout for that. We also have a new campfire episode. It'll be out this Wednesday. And it's with Seth and Matt. That person over there is also on the episode. So please be excited for that.
It was a fantastic time. It was
Looking
really
forward
good. I had Seth all to myself. I want more of it.
I hate you for that. I need to have one-on-one time with Seth. That's my guy.
I also did a campfire with Seth by myself. Anyway.
She did.
Yeah.
She
now
did.
I got to make it happen. I can't be left out.
I've never been on a campfire either, Ron. Oh wait, no. I was on technically on the campfire at Extra Life. So
yes,
technically that counts. So Ron, I guess you are the only one
count.
here that hasn't been on campfire yet.
Well, I have been on campfire.
Yeah.
I just haven't done a one-on-one.
Oh.
Yeah. I was with Bowser and Fiona.
One-on-one.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Oh, interesting. Speaking of solo podcasts, Matt, I would like for you to have the honors of discussing this final thing coming to the Patreon this week, since you poured your blood, sweat, and tears into this one, my friend.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So coming out this week, on the Patreon feeds and Nintendo Drive feeds, I did a review for 1000 Times Resist. It was my game of the year for 2024. Talked about it at the Backtrackers. Spoiler alert, talked about it again at the Backtrackers Game of the Year discussion. And I love this game so much, and I had a phenomenal time discussing the game at the Backtrackers, but a part of me felt like there was more for me to say, especially because at the Backtrackers discussion, I was just an emotional wreck. I was just stopping. It just not very coherent. And there was just more that I wanted to say about the game, so I took my time to really just articulate what I wanted to share as best as I could without spoiling the game, because 1000 Times Resist is one of those games where the less you know, the better. So I was very excited to just really get it out there and excited for people to check it out this week.
Nice, man. Yeah, and we haven't really done anything like that in a while. Like the extra mile for folks who are kind of newer to Carpool. Back in the day, Sean and I would do a solo series whenever there was a big game that came out, or if we had like a specific like larger discussion topic that we wanted to get out there, we would use the extra mile moniker, since of course all the Carpool shows are car themed, of course, in name. So it's kind of the return of the extra mile. We haven't done an extra mile in a very, very long time. So glad to see, Matt, you've taken up the mantle that Sean and I left for you and ran with it, or drove with it, if you are so inclined to use car puns. But so there you go. Look out for that this week. Like I said, lots of stuff on the Patreon. You can be like Habs fan. Head on over there to patreon.com/carpoolgaming and sign up if you haven't already, even with that, just for that free trial. We've also, of course, got Carpool Gaming Fantasy Critic going on right now. Of course, lots of different moves happening in the world of Fantasy Critic. And of course, we would love your support if you are so inclined. Of course, if you have a free account over on Fantasy Critic, you can go over to any one of our leagues. We'll have the links in the show notes where you can go to the leagues and just hit the follow button along the little top of the screen there and just follow us. So we can get to, we are very close to actually hitting the most popular leagues on Fantasy Critic.
Yes.
So we would love it if y'all could help out with that. Because look at this maximum effort here at 18 followers. Currently, Carpool Gaming League C has 11 followers. We're only 7 followers away from getting there, and League A has 13. So I mean, 5 more people following League A, and we're one of the most popular leagues on Fantasy Critic.
We
so
can do it. Come on.
So close.
I've followed all 3 to make sure that I keep up with everyone.
Yes. I will have the links for these in the description of this podcast or the video description if you're watching over on the old YouTube. So make sure to check that out as well. Because again, we have big developments over the course of the year. The picks are fast and furious at this point. I was very disappointed that I couldn't get Ninja Gaiden 4 this week because Kevin Ainsworth outbid me in League C. And I was very
Kevin.
about
Of course
that
he did.
card is looking nice.
I thought
Kevin's
$22, a
fast.
$20 bid for Ninja Gaiden 4 was enough, but no, he bid 30, and I was very sad.
Wow.
Yeah,
He really wanted it.
he really did.
Really wanted it.
Kev's doing his thing.
Yeah. Anyway, speaking of Ninja Gaiden, we should grab our 8 tracks, pop them in. It's time for the playlist. Time to talk about the games we played this week. Starting off, as always, with Ron. What'd you play, man?
So this will be my last update on Helldivers 2. It is a great game. It's going to end up on my Game of the Year list. Not much different has changed from the last week and the week before that. I changed it. We've grown in level, so we've had access to a lot more stratagems and weapons and stuff. And once again, like I said, it's just a fun game. Crazy, the difficulties. The higher you go, the wilder things get. We got to Helldiver difficulty today. There's only one more difficulty higher than this, and it has been wild. We have made it through by the skin of our teeth on a lot of missions. It's just a fun time. It can be stressful, especially when a lot of things start going haywire and just going off the rails, because you can make plans all day, and that game will sit there and just make you change every bit of those in-game. But fantastic game. I see what all the hype was about. Like I said, crazy fun with friends. More than likely, though, it's going to run out of time soon, because once Monster Hunter Wilds drops, Helldivers is going to have to go on the shelf. At least for a little bit, until there's any major updates or once we sit there and finish up with Monster Hunter. But that's going to be a minute. And of course, more Baldur's Gate 3. I'm in Act 3 now. The whole time I was thinking that I was still in Act 1 because the game was so damn huge.
Yeah.
And I started in a new area, and I was just like, what do you mean this is Act 3? Once the trophy popped, I was just like, what? So I'm in Act 3. I went to a new region of Act 3, and it's going to be a minute. But having a blast. Nothing has changed. Nothing has changed. As far as romance goes, I am behaving myself. Witcher 3 taught me a lesson about having more than one woman. So
Okay.
right from the jump, I decided to behave myself and do the right thing. I'm being tested.
Surprised.
I'm being tested, Koala. There's a character.
I was waiting for the but. I decided to actually do
there was a
break
character that
instead.
showed up that I didn't think she was going to show up. She showed up like real quick in camp for a story purpose, and then she was gone again. Never thought she was going to show up again. I made a comment to Antics about her, and I was just like, but she showed up again, and she made an offer, and I'm like, oh boy.
Was it an offer that you just couldn't refuse?
I was just about to say that.
It's an offer. It's an offer that I sit there and hit quick save. I hit quick save,
Yeah,
and that's where I stopped at for now.
Fair enough.
I don't want to mess up things,
Fair
but just in case.
Okay. Seems fair. Maybe
Tune in
they-
next week
forward to where
until we
this
find out.
goes. Yeah,
Look,
I'm
even my
very
daughter,
excited
even my
for
daughter
this.
knows. Even my daughter knows. She was like shocked with the eye emoji. She knows. She knows.
now.
Very excited to see
But it's a
where
great
this goes.
game.
Very
Great
excited.
game. Really, really, like I said, that game is just so S tier. I'm at the point where I already know pretty much that this game is going to be definitely top 5 RPGs that I've ever played. I'm trying to figure out just how high it's going to go. Right now, I'd definitely say that it's on Mass Effect and Witcher 3 Hills. It's close.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh.
That's high praise, man, coming from you, because I know how much you like those games.
Yeah. So we'll see how it goes. We'll see if it finishes strong. But right now, man, it's rolling.
Nice. Now, we had a question for you a little bit earlier in the chat that I purposely led until after you finished talking about Baldur's Gate 3. Lachlan wants to know, will you play Neva when I boot up to the moon?
Wow,
Is that gonna
Lockless.
Lucky.
Oh, wow.
Well, here's the thing. Neva still has not hit 50% or more off. I do not feel comfortable paying full price for that, especially with what happened with Reese. So I'm gonna wait for that to kind of get a deep cut on a sale, and then because I promised to you, I'm gonna play it.
Okay.
Ron,
waiting.
that
Lock
means
with
she
him,
might
I'm
not play
waiting.
to the moon then, right?
No, well, she's
I feel
gonna
like
play
that's what
to
she's
the moon.
saying.
Nah,
Is she?
nah, she's gonna play
It's
it.
not an ultimatum, right? All right. As long as she's still
I
gonna
can
play
see,
it.
I can hear
Okay,
Lachlan's disappointment in her voice when she said fair.
I was just going to say, it's got the multiple dots. Get that across. Yeah.
Look, I'm a man of my word. I promised to you I was gonna play it, and I'm gonna play it.
Fair enough. All right, Matt, what'd you play, man?
Speaking of talk about a game that I haven't started playing yet, but I will. It is Caravan Sandwich. It is the next Backtrackers game. We're meeting up on Sunday, February 9th, so it's a little bit different, 11 a.m. Eastern Time, picked by none other than Seth from Nintendo Drive. So I have no idea what the game's about. I've just downloaded it. It's ready to go. I'll keep everyone posted. But speaking about games that I am no longer playing as well, is SteamWorld Heist 2. So I was playing it, but I stopped.
Oh no!
Yes,
what
I
happened?
did it. I don't like getting my butt kicked over and over and over again. Like I'm getting wrecked here. I love this game. I've talked about it in the past on PlayStation Drive. Love all the SteamWorld games. Dig, Quest, Heist, and I applaud Heist 2. It is phenomenal, but I'm just bad. Like I'm getting wrecked. Like, and I'm talking about even on story mode. So I got to this part where you get this new boat ability where you can go underwater, so that allows you to access new areas of the map. So I did that, and then I tried 2 different stages on story mode, and I'm not even joking. Like I wasn't even close to winning. Like it's not even funny. Like I'm getting wrecked, maybe like a quarter of the way, and I was like, okay, I'm clearly underleveled. Let me head back to the older areas and just do some grinding, like you do in any RPG. When you hit a wall, do some grinding. I don't know if I'm doing it wrong. I can't go back. I tried to go back underwater, and I don't like a wall came down. I'm assuming it's done this on purpose for story purposes. I tried for like 5 minutes. I'm like, I really don't know how to get back. So, at least to my knowledge, I only found 2 areas that I can actually do a battle in, and like I said, I'm getting destroyed. So I was like, okay, maybe I could, start again, or do some deep dive research and to figure out what to do differently. And I was like, you know what? At this point, I respect the game. I think it's phenomenal. I still recommend it, but I'm not having fun. And if I'm not having fun,
All right.
I'm not gonna put any more time into it. But still recommend it. But yeah, and I knew it was gonna be hard, just even with SteamWorld Heist 1. I rolled credits, but I remember like the very last boss fight, like on story mode, was probably like 50 minutes and like a few tries. Like it was like I barely won on story mode. So I knew coming into this would be hard, but there's some stuff that I'm just clearly not understanding because yeah, it's really hard. But before I move on, question from the press pool. Yes, Ron. Yes.
Matt, friend, do you feel that it was easier for you to drop this game due to spending extra time with Eve and Stellar Blade? Were you just trying to find an excuse to get back to her instead of struggling through and fighting with Heist 2?
That's a good question, and I think like anybody else, like when you're juggling multiple games and you got like other games and like in the like I have a backlog now, friends. Like yeah, it's not massive, but I built one up. It's just easier to drop a game. It's not like 1997. It's like I only have one game to play because this is what my parents bought me. It's like, if I'm not, I'm just gonna have to plow through it. Where it's now, it's like, well, I got like a couple of games sitting in the backlog. Eve is waiting for me. Yes, it's like, do I want to spend my time banging my head against the wall and just like, it's not fun getting your butt kicked. Like, it'd be different if I was close, but I'm getting destroyed here. But before we move on, another question from the press book. Yes, Ryan. Yes.
Yes. Thank you for taking my question. Hi, Ryan Turford from Carpool Gaming here. Question for Matt here. If you're having this much difficulty with a game beating you down out over and over again, how are you going to be able to have, you know, the devotion, the testament of will to be able to make it through your Elden Ring run later this year?
Mm-hmm. Good question.
I won't. That's why I'm not doing Elden Ring. That's
Oh,
right. I know better.
you told
I know
PlayStation Nation you were going to play Elden Ring. What's going
That's
on
what I
here?
heard too. That's
Did
what I
I?
heard too.
Did I?
Yes.
I don't
don't
know.
remember
I think
this.
people
How
are making
dare
assumptions.
you?
Thank you.
How
I
dare
don't
you?
remember.
Thank you.
Koala wasn't here on the last show.
Weirdos.
Koala was not here on the last show.
Hey, I still listen.
That's right.
What?
That's
I can't hear you. What?
Yeah,
Sorry,
now
Herman's
he's
calling.
listening.
You know, I
There's
do
some
want to
static,
talk
what?
a little bit. I do want to talk about this a little bit. So yes, I'm still playing Stellar Babes, thoroughly enjoying it. I'm at the part, Ryan knows what I'm talking about. I'm at the part where I can do all the requests and like side missions. Like, I'm finally, like, the world's finally opened up.
Yeah, you're
And
like getting close to
thoroughly
like, the point
enjoying
of no
it.
return. Yeah.
Oh yeah, okay. I must be having really bad luck this year in terms of platinum trophy guides, because again, this game is phenomenal, but the platinum guide is confusing.
Yep.
Or maybe I'm just really bad at
Sure
it.
is.
Okay. Okay. Thank vindication, Ryan.
That's not
'cause
just
I'm
you.
like, yo, this is Until Dawn remake, Grease, and now it's like Stellar Blade. Like, what, am I just not reading correctly? Okay,
This
thank
is one
you,
of the
Ryan,
reasons I
'cause
decided not to go for the platinum in the end. I was just like,
Ryan-
forget it. I'm not dealing with this.
I got 6 tabs open. I got 6 different tabs open of like, okay,
Ooh.
do this, then this, then this, then this.
Six?
Good Lord.
Yep.
Now, it's an excessive amount, but just very similar to Until Dawn remake. There is not a definitive guide of like, just do this like you're 5 years old. It's not that. It's just like, well, here's the guide for just the side quest, and then here's a separate guide for the request, and then here's a third guide for the collectibles. And it's not like, maybe they're encouraging you to do it at your own pace. I don't know, but I need something really simplified. So, still gonna try. Still gonna plow through, but I'm getting a little stressed because I'm like, I might
I
miss
don't
something.
understand
No.
why they wouldn't just pull those all together into one.
Because it's too much. I
Yeah,
couldn't even use
okay.
words to get it out there. But also, it's one of those things too where it's like, and Matt knows this from playing the game now. Like, if you don't have all the 6 guides open from the very beginning of the game, you're probably going to miss one of the cans or something like that. That's one of the ones that you can't, in an area that you can't go back to, and then
Wow.
you basically have to start the game over. Or do a full third playthrough essentially of the game.
Glad I'm not a stellar babe then.
Which is why, again, like, I was just like, forget it. The platinum trophy is too much, and I would have had to do 3 playthroughs again, and I was just like, I'm done. I can't do this.
It's confusing. But another question from the Falcom representative. Yes, Ron. Question.
Yes, friend. What guides are you using? Are you using NeoSeeker or GameFAQs or a YouTube guide?
PowerPix. Is that not reputable?
Well,
Or maybe
PowerPix is good,
oh.
but there's other ones out there. NeoSeekers usually has some really good ones. GameFAQs, even though as old school as they are, sometimes their stuff is
Yeah.
really good too. Yeah. So
My
you
go-tos
might-
are usually PowerPix and PSN profiles or
yeah,
PSN
these
trophies.
usually are the good,
but
the
I've
good
never-
ones. But yeah, NeoSeeker's got
I'm
some
gonna
good
try
stuff.
NeoSeeker.
Yeah.
So I'm thoroughly enjoying it, and I mentioned it on the last episode where I've made a commitment to play on normal, and I'm thoroughly enjoying the combat. Getting my butt kicked. I just had a boss fight for like half an hour, but enjoyed the process. And something that I learned about myself is I'm going through Stellar Babes is I feel like I'm willing to try the game on the hardest difficulty, which right now is normal, and I think it's because I know for a fact that if I get into a difficulty wall, I can always default back to easy mode if needed. So it's very comforting. And I just want to reconfirm, Elden Ring, is it one difficulty? There's no slider.
They don't even let you choose. You deal with the FromSoft difficulty,
It's
which is
one
what
difficulty.
you get what you want.
But the upside to that, Matt, is it's one full experience.
Oh,
That is not an upside. That is not an upside. Just one way to kick my butt. That is not an
make
upside.
any sense.
Nope, does not.
It does not. It does not. Even I can say that's not one FE. It is not. So, Sean in the chat said he nailed it. Sean, he did not. No.
Just
That was a horrible use. It's always a horrible use, but that definitely was.
No, you get that. You get Shadow of the Erd Tree. It's one full experience.
He's not playing Shadow of the Erd Tree. He's not going to play that.
Yeah.
I don't know.
One full difficulty
Anyways.
experience.
Oh, no, some people say Shadow of the Erd Tree is a lot harder.
It's fine.
I can. And then the last game that I just came out of nowhere is on the PlayStation is To the Moon. I played it before on Nintendo Switch, and then I was chatting with a good friend of the show, Marcus O'Neill from Tiny Game Chronicles and Hype Factor, and he was like, "Yeah, it's on PlayStation." I was like, "Excuse me, when did it come to PlayStation?" Because to my knowledge, it's always been Switch and
Shame on
PC.
you. It came to PlayStation like a month or two ago. Shame on you.
I shame on me. It's on PlayStation. I was like, okay,
Oh,
that's
man.
very tempting for me to double dip. But I was like, but I shouldn't. I should be responsible. And Marcus O'Neill is a very
You'd be
convincing man.
responsible for that.
Marcus O'Neill is like, well, it's not 2024. You can buy games. Have
That's
at
true.
it. Go nuts. And I'm like,
That's right.
calm down.
I'm going to have to holler at
Please calm
Marcus.
down.
Yeah.
So then, I went down a rabbit hole. I'm like, well, let me see how much it costs. Okay, it's only $15. All right, let me look at the Platinum Guide. I'm sorry, 1 out of 10 difficulty? 1 playthrough? 5 hours?
Excuse me? What was this?
I beat-
It's a platinum for it? Oh, that gives me an excuse to play for a
Ron's
third
in.
time.
Ron's in.
I'm playing it
See?
for a third time. It's over.
I
Run.
should have waited. I bought it on Steam, and I haven't even touched it
Double
yet.
dip.
I have it on
now
Steam. I
it's
played it
on
on Steam.
PlayStation.
I'm going to play it again. I'm
Double
going to
dip.
play it
And
again.
Fulia, you
That's
could have
right.
gotten another platinum to catch up to Ron.
I can't
it.
buy
Double dip.
multiple. I'm limited on what games I can buy. I can't this year.
Can someone gift the game to you?
Can we buy you the game, please? Can I just give it to you?
I already have it on Steam.
Let's get it for you on
on
PlayStation. Let's get it for you
That's
on
right.
PlayStation.
Fulia, just put it on your
Yes.
throne page and they'll buy it for you. It'll be fine.
Yes, just
fine.
put it on your throne page. and
Slide
then we
you
got
$15. Slide you $15.
That's right. And then M2's coming in with the platinum trophy for To the Moon together.
Yeah,
How cool is
yeah.
that?
Yeah, I'm glad we talked about this. I didn't know it was a plan for it. I thought it was
See?
going to rob us and just give us the, here you go for all the trophies, but no platinum. Oh, it's on.
Oh, there's a
I
platinum
didn't
trophy.
need an
so-
excuse to play this game again, but it's going to
do
happen
now.
now. Yeah. No will. No will. I'm going to play it this week.
Oh my god.
There it is. There it is. And Lachlan in the chat says she'll be playing the trilogy this week, just for Ron.
Excellent, Lucky.
Specifically.
Excellent.
See? Lachlan is in on it too, Fulia, so there you go.
Yeah, Lock.
Thank you.
Thank you. But yeah,
Yeah. I still got that
so-
PayPal for you. It's going to happen.
So yeah, played a few games, dropped a few games, got some games coming up. So it's been a busy week. But Fulia, we've missed you for many weeks. Please tell PlayStation Nation, what have you been up to these 2 weeks? What games have you been playing?
Well, let's just say I haven't really been playing anything because the only thing that I have been doing is working at the Australian Open, the tennis, doing my broadcasting, which in itself kind of felt like a game because I had to use a joystick to try and keep the players in frame while working, so it kind of felt like a game.
Okay. Are you moving
That's all right.
using like
That's
a
all right.
drone camera or like a sliding camera or what kind of camera are you using?
So I do remote broadcasts. So I am using, they're like really small, kind of like CCTV style kind
Yeah.
of cameras. So they're very small. They're set up, there's 2 set up on each of the courts. And these are the smaller outside courts, not the main big arenas. They'll have like the bigger manned cameras.
Yeah.
And so we use, we've got panels in front of us that has the joystick for movement, like pan and tilt. And then we've also got like a switch that is for going, for zooming in and out.
Okay.
And then extra buttons in terms of setting up settings and all that sort of stuff. What's funny is everybody has their own version of how they have their pan and tilt and their zoom ins and outs. I am what they call pilot mode when it comes to the joystick, which means that if I pull down, camera goes up. If I push it away from me, the joystick, the camera goes down.
So you're an inverted camera operator.
I am an inverted camera
You're one
operator.
of these
I am.
inverted control people.
Yeah.
And
You're
a
one of
lot of
them.
people,
What do
a
you
lot of
mean,
people
those
on the
people?
team.
You're one of them
am
inverted folks.
I am inverted mode at work when I do camera work. What's funny is I can't do that when I play games.
As it should be.
What? That doesn't make any sense.
I don't know what it is. I think it might just be the fact that because I'm using a full hand, because these joysticks are big, so I have to use a full hand to move it around. Whereas when you're on a controller, it's just your thumb doing the movements. And so for me, my thumb is literally used to the gamer's way of controlling pan and tilt. Whereas when I'm working on a camera, my brain thinks I'm on a camera, I need to do it the way the camera goes.
Okay.
Just like in a video game. Same
Yeah,
thing. The
just like a
camera
video
goes
game camera.
up
Wrong.
when I go down.
It's weird
What?
though.
That's-
It's just so weird. I'm
No,
inverted when I'm
that's just how
operating
it is.
cameras, and then I'm not when I'm playing games. It's just so weird for me.
To be fair,
alright.
I'm like that. I'm kind of like you when I'm playing games on PC. Like if I play games with a mouse, I can't play inverted, but I can only play inverted if I'm playing console, like with
Yeah.
a controller. So it's very weird.
That makes sense, though. That makes sense. With the mouse, yeah, I would be going up, too. That,
Yeah.
I think
But
so.
as Sean points out, there, you're basically just playing in real life topspin.
The only difference is I'm not controlling the players. I'm just controlling the camera.
Aren't you,
Ron.
though? Aren't you?
Koala, there's a question that we all need answered. Because PlayStation Nation needs to know. Was Anna Kay there?
No.
Was she?
Oh.
She no longer comes to tournaments. What are you talking about? She's done. She's over.
Just because
retired
she's
a long time
retired doesn't mean
She's
she might
20
not show
years
up.
ago news.
What? How dare you?
20 years ago
whoa.
news.
Whoa.
No one
Whoa,
cares
whoa,
about her
whoa.
anymore.
We do.
No
we
one
do. How dare
cares?
you?
Yeah,
That's right.
The 1%.
Please. The important 1%.
I
The
feel like
most
it's less than
important
1%, actually.
It probably is.
Anyway, so the
Anyways.
one game that I have actually played, and I
Oh.
literally played it last night because I knew I had nothing to talk about, and I knew this was going to be a short playthrough, and it gets mentioned in the Mini Indie Van podcast. I played Journey.
Oh,
wow.
Let's go.
Finally.
Nice.
Finally. Yes.
I
Yes.
finally got around to playing Journey. Yesterday, I was feeling a bit crappy, and all I wanted to do was just sit on my couch and do not much of anything, and I didn't want to have to think. So I thought Journey would be the perfect opportunity to just chuck that on and just play through it. And I'm so glad I did, because that is a beautiful playthrough. It's such a great game, and I'm just
You're welcome.
gliding through.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Yeah. Thank you, Rod. I appreciate it.
Literally gliding through. That's what you do.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty much. And I finished it in like an hour and 10 minutes, and
Yeah, it's not
and that
long,
was
yeah. Oh, wow.
that's all I needed. I just sort of get through it. I didn't have to think about what I needed to do, and I just no dialogue, beautiful scenery. It was great. I loved it.
Did you
Going
even
back to the
partake in
platinum?
the multiplayer?
So
Multiplayer Journey?
So
It is multiplayer.
there
It is,
is a
but it's weird.
point. There is a point in the game where you do share part of your journey with a couple of other players that pop in. But it's sort of, I don't know whether it's live or whether it's kind of.
Oh, it's
it
live.
might be-
It's live.
okay. So I did come across 4 different players. So by the end of the game playthrough, after the credits, it actually tells you who you came across in your playthrough, and I came across 4 different players. So that was actually really cool.
Yeah. Yeah, that only happens if you're connected to the internet, but it is
Yeah.
like it is actual people. Like people
Okay.
playing.
Well,
the
that's
game.
cool. That's pretty cool. And I like the fact that they kind of like, because there's no dialogue and there's not really much in terms of buttons to press.
Yeah, it's just
to-
chirping.
It's essentially you just sort of get like this light notification. You know, they try to help you in a way. Come this way. Come, kind of thing. They kind of guide you in a way if you feel like you're lost. And I really, really appreciated that. So yeah, no, I love that aspect of it. And it's like they were sharing part of your journey and you were part of theirs. So it was actually really cool.
Nice. I'm glad you finally got a chance to play it. That game's awesome. So
Yeah, no, I'm super glad I did. I just haven't really had a chance this past month because of the move and the tennis and the amount of work I had to do. But I'm glad that I decided that I, play something short. Journey was it, and yeah, I'm glad.
Took her long enough. I got you that game for like 2 years ago.
Look,
Oh, really?
Played it eventually.
listen.
I got that game for you like 2 years ago.
been
Finally.
busy.
Oh, wow. Wow.
Not technically
It's in
2
the
years ago.
backlog for a while.
okay?
It wasn't
was-
technically 2 years ago. You're right. Year and a
Still
half.
a long time.
Year and a half.
The last Christmas present, not this one, the last one.
Oh god.
That's it.
There you go. Well, Lachlan, of course, chimes in saying, listen, she's busy.
Thank you, Lachlan.
It's true.
Yeah. Totally
right.
understandable.
She's been busy. Yeah, she has.
Yeah.
To be
But
fair, that
now
sounds
that
like
I'm-
crazy stuff in 1 month.
Now,
right?
now that I'm done with all the craziness of the tennis, I'm back to my usual normal work life. Apart from still trying to get more stuff moved into the house, but other than that, I think I should be good, and I'll be back to my usual routine. So I'll be able to play more games.
So Elden Ring soon, right? That's the plan.
No,
No?
She's gonna get that. She's gonna get that platinum on Journey.
not happening. Not.
Oh, the
happening.
platinum for Journey is silly, Ron. It takes too
Yeah,
much time.
but
I don't even
think
know that
she
I
could
want
do
to do the platinum, even though there's only like 14
I actually don't remember the
trophies.
Journey platinum.
I don't think
being
it has a
bad.
platinum.
I remember
think-
it. I remember it being more annoying than difficult.
Really? I
Yeah.
don't remember that.
I was going to say, does
I played it
Journey
on
even
PS3,
have a
so it's been
platinum?
a
It
while.
didn't look like it had a platinum.
It did on PS3, I think. if
It
I
did on
remember correctly.
PS3.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
I might have to look into that. But yeah, I don't know. It looks a little ridiculous.
I don't know if the PS4 version actually does have a platinum, but the PS3 version I know for sure
Oh,
did.
that would suck if the PS4 version doesn't.
Yeah, but it
I don't
wouldn't,
think
it
the
wouldn't,
PS3
it
version
wouldn't
even lets
surprise
you know
me
who you
either.
played with. So maybe some things have changed on that end.
But also, I did buy it as the bundle with the other 2 games, so it's like the 3 games in one. So I don't know whether it will incorporate like 3 different platinums, or whether it's you get the platinum if you get everything from all 3 games.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah.
I wonder how that works. But either way, I'm just glad you played it, whether or not you have the platinum or not. Fulia, that's the main thing. Anyways, my games this week. I'm glad you talked about short games this week, because I definitely needed the short games to get me through this week, because I talked about Romancing Saga 2 last week. I was really enjoying it last week. That was where we left off at around like the 10-hour mark. I think it was 10 or 15-hour mark. I think is where I was at with Romancing Saga 2 last week. Was really, really enjoying it, but it's one of those games where, I talked about in last week's show, I'm not really in it for the story. The story is kind of bad in this game. It's not great, and there's barely any story to begin with. And I was doing all the side quests and everything else because I was just really enjoying the combat. But I'm the type of person where if I'm relying solely on combat being kind of the main focus of your game, I only really want it to be about 20 hours long. I don't want it to be like a 50 to 60 hour experience. So when I got to the 20-hour mark, I was starting to feel a drag a bit. And I was starting to feel like, all right, when are we getting to the end of this game? And then I went to how long to beat, and I was like, oh, well, it still says it takes about 35 hours to complete just the main story. But I'd been doing all the side quests at that point, and the completionist ranking for this game is 60 hours. So then when I looked at a walkthrough, just to see what compare the chapter I'm on versus the chapter to the end of the game, I was like halfway through the game at the 22-hour mark, and I was just like, forget it. If I'm feeling this way now, I know that I'm just not going to continue to enjoy this experience. So I have shelved this game, not abandoned, because there is the I'm leaving the door open to come back to this game maybe when I've played some other stuff, and if I'm jonesing for it, I can come back to it. So I've kind of left the door open for Romancing Saga 2. I do think it's a good game, but I wish, for God's sakes, 1, I didn't do all the side stuff, and 2, I wish it was just shorter. I just wish, like, this is the type of thing that I don't love about RPGs, because not all of them need to be super long experiences. I like RPGs that are on the shorter side. So this just was tough. So I really, really enjoyed it though for the first 20 hours though. I will say that. So I do think there is a lot of fun there, but it's way too long. It's way longer than it needs to be. But that being said, to cleanse my palate a little bit, because I had this long RPG experience, and I've been playing a lot of RPGs lately, or just longer experiences, I decided that after listening to some Nintendo music while I was working the other night, listening to Super Mario Kart, which of course was brand new on the Nintendo Music app this week, I decided to just cleanse my palate by playing a bunch of short games this week, or just, fun Nintendo experiences. So I hopped into Super Mario Kart on the Super Nintendo, beat a bunch of cups. I then did a full playthrough of the original Super Mario Brothers, not any of this Warp Zone stuff. Full playthrough, every single level from start to finish. And then did it all again after I beat the game, where then it replaced all the enemies with beetles, just to make that game a little bit harder. So I did that, had a blast. I love Super Mario Brothers. It's one of my all-time favorite games. So I was so happy to kind of revisit it that way. And then I played a game that was brand new to me in Kirby Nightmare in Dreamland on the Game Boy Advance. This was on my list of games I wanted to play before the end of the year because I'd heard a lot of good things about it. And I saw like a speed run of it at I think it was SGDQ last year, where I was like, hey, that game looks really cool, and I've never played it before. And turns out I had a blast playing Kirby Nightmare in Dreamland. I had so much fun. It's honestly probably one of my favorite Kirby games now. And I'm now kind of in this Kirby mood where I kind of want to play more Kirby games. So yeah, I had a great time with this game. I kind of want to go back and play Kirby and the Amazing Mirror, which was the other Game Boy Advance Kirby game, because I've also heard really good things about that game as well. So wanted to give that a shout out. But this is not a Nintendo podcast. This is a PlayStation podcast. So let's talk about a game that I played on Xbox and not PlayStation, because for folks that have been following the news, we had an Xbox showcase this year, this week, where they announced Ninja Gaiden 4 was coming. Hugely excited for Ninja Gaiden 4. I'm a huge Ninja Gaiden fan. As Sean knows, he's mentioned it time and time again in the Discord when that got announced. He's just like, we need to check on Ryan. We need to make sure he's okay. I kind of lost my dang mind when they announced that. But they went one step further and shadow dropped a remake of Ninja Gaiden 2 in Unreal Engine 5. And I was like so stoked to play it. I immediately went and downloaded it, but here's the catch. I would normally play this on PlayStation. I can't buy games until July. Remember, this is a rule that I've set out earlier this year.
That's right.
However, this game is on Game Pass, and games that are on Game Pass or PS Plus are still allowed for me to play because I don't have to buy them. I've already my subscription for Game Pass is already like still stocked until I think July at this point. So any of those games like Doom or South of Midnight, I'm going to be playing on Xbox because they got Game Pass. So I have the loophole. Yes, Sean, of course, the satisfying loophole of Game Pass. So I played Ninja Gaiden 2 Black on Xbox, and I had an incredible time revisiting Ninja Gaiden 2. In fact, it gave me kind of a new appreciation for Ninja Gaiden 2. Of course, that game originally came out on Xbox 360, and it was an Xbox exclusive until they did the Sigma version, which came to both PlayStation 3 and then Vita, and then it's now actually on PlayStation 5 as well. You can still buy that version of the game. It's part of like the Ninja Gaiden trilogy that they did.
Yeah, Master Collection.
Last year, yeah. But this remake is exactly what I wanted. In fact, like, it was, I hearkened it so much to, liked it so much to Metroid Prime Remastered that came out last year on the Switch, where they didn't really add new content, but they basically took everything that was good about the Sigma version, everything that was good about the original version, put them into one package in a brand new engine, tightened up the controls, and added some new difficulty options. And that was all they really needed to do. Because I've never really liked this game more than the first Ninja Gaiden. But it's definitely a lot closer with this playthrough because I love this version of the game. It's still a really good game that holds up today. The camera's kind of wonky, and people, of course, who are new to the series will, be begging for a lock-on option when they play it for the first time, because this was the era where not every third-person action game had a lock-on with your enemies. So you kind of have to like hope that you're staring at the correct enemy that you want to hit in order to hit them. But other than those complaints, like everything about this game is incredible. The music's great. It visually looks incredible. It has some really awesome boss and enemy designs. The locations are incredible, especially running in Unreal Engine 5. It runs at 60 frames per second. In fact, if you have 120 hertz TV, you can actually play it at 120 frames if you want to play it that way. This remake is exactly what I needed a Ninja Gaiden remake to be, and it just gave me a whole new appreciation for the game. So shout out to Ninja Gaiden Black 2. I played through it on hard mode this week, and I can't wait to play on the harder difficulties as well, because it's famously a pretty difficult game.
Oh yeah.
But it's less difficult than the original Xbox 360 release, because the difficulty for this one is based on the Sigma version, which was noticeably easier. So, like, there's this, they reduced a lot of the enemies as an example. Like, there's the one staircase scene from the original game where there's just hundreds of enemies coming downstairs, and you just have to mow down all of them and hope not to die. And it just makes the screen go to like 15 frames a second. And that same stair sequence in this one has like 20 dudes on it. So, they definitely kind of changed that up, both for performance sake and also to just make the game a little bit easier. And also for folks that are asking, because we've had a bunch of people in the Discord ask about this. If you want to get started with the series, this is a great place to start. You don't need to play the first game, because the Ninja Gaiden games aren't really about the story anyways. They're fine. But I think that if you like fast action games, if you like Bayonetta, if you like Devil May Cry, this is the GOAT, I think, of that genre. Is the Ninja Gaiden series, and Ninja Gaiden 2 Black is awesome. So there you go. Also, yes, Lockcliff points out there's a lot of blood in this one, but you can actually turn off the blood filter in this game if you want to. There is a filter that can turn off the blood and gore if you so choose
check it out
to do so.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Fulio, if you played Ninja Gaiden, you better play Elden Ring.
But that's the thing, though, Ron. I think they're like two different types of difficulty.
They really are. They really are.
Because, like, I can plow through a game like Ninja Gaiden, but a game like Elden Ring, I struggle with it because of just how slow and methodical the combat is. Whereas, like, Ninja Gaiden, in a lot of ways, it has a lot more in common with Doom or Doom Eternal than Elden Ring, in a lot of ways. Because of how fast you're moving, you're doing the kind of the glory kill thing like you're doing in Doom, and the more aggressive you are, the more, like, health power-ups the enemies are kind of generating. So I think it actually is much closer to an experience like that than...
Fulio's going to play Doom and Ninja Gaiden this year.
I ain't playing no Doom. No, thank you. I'm good.
Why?
Doom Dark Ages, oh, holy crap, that game looks awesome. I can't.
Dark Ages actually has me interested. I'm not a Doom guy like that, but Dark Ages is looking...
That's the type of game, Ron, where similar to Ninja Gaiden 2, I think I might double dip on PlayStation, where I might play it on Game Pass when it comes out because I can't buy the game when it comes out. But I can play it on Game Pass when it comes out, and then I might just buy the game later and play it again on PlayStation.
Yeah, I had to prepare myself for Ninja Gaiden 4, so I'm going to buy the Master Collection. I'm going to get Ninja Gaiden Black 2, and I'm going to play that. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
It's been years. I haven't played Ninja Gaiden in a long time.
Also, I love the fact, too, that this game is being published by Microsoft, but the only physical version for this is on PlayStation.
Yeah.
And it's...
How did these things happen? No?
It's so weird to me. But I looked it up. I'm like, man, I wish I could have bought this game now, because PlayAsia is doing the pre-orders for it because it's exclusive there. And there's like a 2-for-1 sale right now where I could pick that up in like the Suikoden collection, and it'd be $100 Canadian dollars for both. So
all right, that sounds like a deal.
I'm kind of sad that I can't buy games right now. But people should get on that if you're interested in buying the physical copy of Ninja Gaiden 2 Black. But anyways, enough about Ninja Gaiden. It's time for us to transition to topic of the week. So, it's 2025, and we haven't had a chance to do that on this particular show. It's time for us to do our first annual 2025 PlayStation predictions episode. The four of us have come up with three bold predictions, I might add. And we're going to see who can best predict the year of 2025 in the world of PlayStation. Of course, the rules are it can really be about, these predictions can be about anything in the world of PlayStation, whether it's games coming to PlayStation, whether it's anything about Sony first party stuff, Sony themselves, if we're getting a PlayStation Portal 2 or a Vita 3 this year. It can be about anything. We can choose to do how we would like to do this. Now, I will throw this out there, because we didn't talk about this ahead of time, but do we want to do weighted scores this year, or do we want to just assign 1 point or 0 points to our scores? What do you guys feeling like?
I think we should make it weighted scores. Like, I think we've kind of learnt how the carpool gaming system works with, predictions and how everybody's scoring each other. And
I don't know. I'll have to go with you guys because I don't know anything about the weighted system.
I will explain So the weighted system means when we predict so when someone makes a prediction, the other three co-hosts will then assign a score between 1 and 10 as to how likely the prediction is. So if the prediction is very likely, you would give them close to 1 point because we want to reward bonus points basically for bolder predictions. Okay. So if I were to basically tell you, hey, Sony will be bought by Microsoft this year, and that's a bold prediction, I would be giving myself a 10 for that as an example. Whereas if I say, hey, Sony will continue to keep PlayStation Plus the same price this year, I might give you a 1 for that because it's very likely.
Yeah, okay.
So, you guys want to do weighted? I know Fulia
Yeah,
does.
weighted is cool.
Yeah.
All
Let's
right.
do it.
Sounds good.
So, with that being said, Ron, you have the joy, the privileged position of going first, my friend.
All
since you talked, it's been the longest since you talked, so you get to go first.
Okay. My first prediction is going to be that Wolverine will finally be shown this year, but no release date will be given because it's not coming this year.
Interesting. So they do like a trailer for it, but it's not coming out this year.
Or maybe a gameplay showcase, something like that. But
Okay.
no release date and no chance of showing up this year whatsoever.
Interesting. So let me clarify for future Ryan, who will be tallying these points for us a year from now. Mm-hmm. If the game's not shown at all this year, that means you get 0 points. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's cool.
Okay. Because I think that
makes sense.
kind of factors into my weighting. So to kick this off, I think that this is fairly likely. I think we will at least see it this year. So I'm going to give you, I'm going to give you a little bit of a degree of difficulty for saying that it won't come out this year. So I'll give you a 5. I'll give you a 5, right in the middle.
Wow.
Give you a 5 for that.
All right.
What about you, Fulia? What are you going to give Ron on this one?
I feel like he might be right that we might get some form of trailer this year, even if it's just a reveal, hey, it's coming. And it probably won't be out maybe until next year, I would say as well, considering that we've heard news that the game is in development. So I'm probably going to say maybe a 4.
Okay.
I'm going to say 4. Yeah.
Again, we're in the same. You and I I think are in the same ballpark. Fulia.
Yeah.
What do you think, Matt?
A 1. This is 100% happening. 100%. It is definitely not coming out this year. 100%. And a year before for marketing before it comes out is typically what Sony does. 100%. It's
But what if it's not coming out until
pick.
2027? Do they even show it this year then?
I think it's coming out 2027.
Nah. No. I think 2026 because it's Insomniac. I got faith in them. I think
Because that's why I
this.
gave him extra points for that, because it's like, well, this is hinging on them showing it this year, but it not coming out this year.
I think Ron's right in the money.
Okay.
Yeah.
1 point.
Okay.
Good pick.
Fair enough.
Thank you.
So there you go. Ron
Potential
with
10 points.
with a cool 10 points, if this is correct. Matt, give us your first prediction, man.
My first prediction is Ghost of Yotei will come out this year. It will come out in October. That is my pick. I think it's obvious it's a collector's edition. A collector's edition's coming with it, so that's not part of it. But I'm quite certain they're gonna go for an October release date.
Okay. So then let me ask you
month.
this again
Out of
for
the day.
clarification.
Yes.
When future Ryan is tallying these points, if this hinges on this coming out on in October, meaning if it comes out in any other month, you get 0 points. Is this correct?
That is correct. I'm going all in. I'm a little tempted for September, but
Okay.
I got some other games come in my mind from PlayStation-ish that I think they're gonna want to do October for Ghost of Yotei. That's my guess.
Fair enough. I love Luckless comments here. I love how Ryan talks to his future self. I have been doing predictions on podcasts now for at least 10 years now, and I know that if I don't clarify some of this stuff for me tallying points later, I'm just gonna be like, wait, where do I draw the line here with some of this stuff? So that's why you're gonna be hearing me ask these questions a lot tonight. All right, so it's time to assign Matt points. Ron, since you are our Ghost of Tsushima specialist, What do you think about this one, man?
I'm going to give Matt a 1. I think he's dead on with that. I think he's dead on with that. I think Sony's going to want to have something a little bit toward the end of the year. So yeah, I'm gonna roll with that. A 1.
Okay.
I think Matt's dead on.
Okay. Now, I think it's for sure coming out this year. So you're definitely right about that. But I'm going to give you degrees of difficulty because it has to be October according to your prediction. Because there's a lot of other months. There's 11 other months in the year that it could come out in. Well, technically not January because January is almost over. But so I would say I'm going to give you 4 points for this one. Still very likely, but you having to get in October, of course, is going to give you at least a few bonus points in my eyes. But how about you, Fulia? What do you think?
Coming out in October, I don't know whether it will come out in October, but it will be down that end of the year sometime. I'm going to say, I'm still going to give you a 3 for that.
Okay.
Just because, like, I think you're right. It probably will be coming out this year. I'm just unsure if it'll be October specifically.
Yeah.
So, but then again, I could be wrong. So that, yeah, I don't want to give you too many.
Is usually Sony's months. They like October and November.
Exactly.
I mean, Seth in the
like.
chat says August or September, and he also claims that he is, in fact, the ghost specialist there. So.
Is he?
But we'll talk about it later. But like, I have a different. I'm thinking a different time for ghosts than you.
Okay.
But I'm interested to see how this pans out. But Fulia, your first prediction. Let's hear it.
Okay. So I had to do a little research for predictions because I'm not very good at making predictions.
Please, I lose every single year, so you and I are in the same boat. We're on equal footing.
Okay, good. Okay, so my first prediction is that the next PlayStation Portal is going to be revealed in November to celebrate the 5th year of the PlayStation 5, because that's when it first released. It was in November.
Oh my god. I can't believe it's been 5 years.
It's been 5 years.
It doesn't even feel like it.
I know.
And it'll be released in 2026.
Okay.
Now,
I'm not going to hold this against you, but what kind of new Portal are we talking about? What does this thing do? What does it look like?
So, from what I've been hearing and reading, it's going to be able to play games natively, and it's going to play PlayStation 5 games.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
You've been talking to Herman also. Okay.
Yeah, I've got my sources.
All right.
Plus, I'm in the future, so you know.
Yep. Well, Matt, as the king of the Portal puppies, I will defer to you starting with this one. What do you think about this prediction, man?
I think Fully is right that another iteration of the Portal is coming, and I do believe she's also right in the sense that the next iteration will be different. Like, it can't just be it's the same device, but I don't know, better battery life or some sort of better or whatever. Like, it can't just be minor upgrades. Like, it would have to be substantial for them to even say it's a different Portal. I mean, I'd be quite excited if another one came out in 2026, even though I just got my Portal this year. I'd be all for it, right? Especially, and I think the iteration that Fully's talking about, which is, it's going to play games natively, I think that truly is the next step. I don't know if they'll have that ready for 2026. I'm curious just because it'd be an interesting time to do it because, we got Potato. We got the Sweet Potato coming out this year, aka Nintendo Switch 2. Like, is coming out 2026? Is that really the right time to be coming out with another handheld device that's probably going to cost more than the Sweet Potato? So I'm just because she said it's next year, I'm going to go with 7 points.
Okay, interesting. Highest so far, I might add, for the show.
Matt stole my score. How dare
Ron,
you?
oh, you also going with a 7, Ron?
I'm gonna go with a 7. I think she's good with everything that's supposed to do, but I think it's gonna come out a little bit closer to the PlayStation 6. So I think the time frame's gonna be off. But I'm gonna give her a 7 for it.
Fulia, I'm giving you a 9 for this one. There's no way in hell
Ooh.
this is happening this way.
It's not a 10. It's
No,
not
no,
a
no.
10.
It's not a 10 because I do think there's like a small window, but no, they will do maybe an anniversary bundle or something like that, or different colors. But it's not. I personally don't think there's going to be a new portal this year. I think they make that move next year. So they don't even. That's why because I still think they want to sell portals this holiday. So I think the move is just maybe have a new color or something like that, and that's it next year when it's closer. But go ahead, you've got your hand up, Fulia.
Now, can I ask if the release time frame is wrong, but we still get a reveal that it's coming? Do I get partial points for that?
The rest of the panel, do we want to allow partial panel?
Yeah,
points
I'll give it a partial points for that.
Yeah, I'll give you partial points because I would be shocked if they revealed it now, and that basically at the earliest it's 2 years out, right?
Yeah.
So I'd still be surprised. So I will give you partial points because I'd be surprised for them to do that.
Well,
Okay.
you know what? Lachlan said to give you partial points, so I have to give you partial points. But go ahead, Ron.
Do you want partial points for an official reveal or rumors? Because rumors and leaks will probably pop out before that does.
Well, I'm going to
Official.
just set a
No,
ground
no.
rule right now that we don't rumors of something are not fact.
Okay, that's what I wanted to say and
I need
clarify.
official. Yeah.
It has to
I
be
need
an
Herman
official
Hulst
announcement.
doing
Yes,
it.
official.
That's right. That's right.
Has to be.
That's right. From Herman.
Otherwise, you can make all kinds of crazy predictions here.
Yeah, exactly.
With rumored stuff, So, there you go. There you go. You've got the highest point total at this point for any prediction. Flea.
Way to go. Way to go, Koala.
All right. My first prediction of the year also has to do with Ghost of Yotei. I think Ghost of Yotei is positioning itself to be a much better game than its original version. So I predict that it will score much higher with critics than Ghost of Tsushima did, achieving a score of at least an 89 or higher on Metacritic. For reference, for folks that don't know, Ghost of Tsushima only scored an 84 on OpenCritic,
Okay.
Really?
Alright.
Which is ridiculous.
which is
That is.
blasphemy
I'm
right
very
there.
surprised.
Well, I think the director's
Yeah.
cut scored just a tad bit higher, but not a lot, though. I don't
But
think
even
it was
that,
in the 90s.
even that wasn't
yeah,
that much
it wasn't
higher.
in the 90s, though.
No.
I thought it'd be in the 90s. I'm very surprised.
I also think that this, in a lot of ways, will break the Sony curse of sequels scoring lower than their originals. Because God of War Ragnarok scored lower than the original God of War.
Really?
Horizon.
Spider-Man 2?
Forbidden West scored lower than the original one. I think we've kind of seen a little bit of a trend. Spider-Man 2 was the only one that was 1 point higher than the original, but even then, I don't really count that. This is fully breaking the curse, going much higher. So again, if it's below 89 on OpenCritic, I had 0 points. What do you guys? Hit me with your odds on this one, friends. Starting with Ron.
I'll give you a 3 for that. I think that's a very good chance that'll happen.
Okay.
There's a pretty good chance. Yeah.
I will firmly admit this is probably the safest of my predictions.
I think so. Yeah. That's no. I'm comfortable giving that a 3. I think that's a good chance that might happen.
Okay, Matt.
It's a 1. I'm just handing them out today like it's nothing. But
Good Lord.
that's
Matt
guaranteed,
is so
Ryan.
confident in all of our predictions.
Yeah, he's just
That's a guarantee. That is a guarantee, Ryan, because, I learned a lot listening from Hype Factor, from Jan32 and Marcus and Neil. They got a podcast about Fantasy Critic, and they talked about, just a good reminder that the scores on OpenCritic, they're subjective. They really are dependent on people's feelings, especially.
Honestly, Ghost of
And,
Tsushima's not an 84 whatsoever.
Listen. It's been last year was there were some good games, but there were not AAA single player story narrative games from Sony. All the critics, fans, we're all waiting for a big AAA Sony first party game. So we're hyped. So when Ghost of Yotei comes out, and what Ryan said, we can just from the teaser, we already got a glimpse of how it's bigger in scope. I think because we've been waiting so long, and because we've had a bit of a drought from Sony first party games, we're gonna enjoy it more, and I think that's why it's easily over to 89, 100%.
Okay.
1 point, Ryan.
Interesting.
1 point.
All right, Fulia, what do you think?
Okay, so you said that it has to score, was it 89 or higher?
89 or higher on OpenCritic. 5 points higher than the original game.
Okay. I don't. I can't say anything in terms of like, because I've never played Ghost of Tsushima, and so but I
Reviewers
do
can also
know,
be very fickle too. So
yeah,
can.
and I know how well like a lot of people like reviewed it and all that sort of stuff, and I know that Ron is says a lot of good things about it. I don't know if it'll hit higher than 89, but I'm still going to give you maybe a 3.
okay,
Just because it might have potential into being, that little bit better than the first iteration. So I'm going to say 3.
okay, interesting. I'll take it. Like I said, I knew that this was going to be one of my safer ones. So I'm totally expecting lower
think that's
scores on
gonna
this
happen.
one. I appreciate y'all. I'm also
It's
just very
happening.
excited for that game.
It's happening.
I can't wait to play it. But moving to you, Ron, hit us with your second prediction.
All right. My second prediction, we're going to keep the Ghost of Yotai train rolling.
Oh, here we go.
Ghost of Yotai
Yes.
is going to be the only PlayStation Studios developed single-player game to release this year.
Interesting. That is an interesting one.
Question. Question for the principal.
Yes.
And it's because I truly don't know. Death Stranding 2. That's from Kojima. That does
Kojima
not
Productions
count.
is not
as
PlayStation
first party,
Studio.
right?
Yeah.
Okay. It does not count.
Yeah, even though Sony's publishing it, it
Yeah.
doesn't count though.
Okay.
So then let me ask you this then, Ron, just to add a little caveat to it. If a single player focused game that has a multiplayer mode tacked on to it was to also release this year, would that count?
Nah, we'll just go. If it has a single-player campaign, I'll let it stick.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, and when I say that, I mean the focus is the single player. It just
Yeah.
happens to have
Yeah.
multiplayer. Almost like Dead Space 2. Because Dead
Yeah.
Space 2 had its own multiplayer suite, but it was very much like, hey, you play that game for the single
Yeah.
player.
Everybody does that. Yes. So, no, I'll let it stick. Oh, yes, man. Another one.
I got another question. What if a first-party Sony studio releases a remaster or a remake?
No.
Does that count?
No, that does not count.
It does not count.
No,
that will not
Ron
count.
was very specific in his words. I took advantage. I took notice of that being like it's the only like new game.
Yeah, I want to be very specific with that.
Okay.
But also, Seth has a question too. Do spin-offs count?
Like say if we got like a Spider-Man Miles Morales style
DLC?
I'll
I'll let DLC count. I'll
Well, a
let DLC
standalone
count.
DLC, like a
Yeah.
like a Miles Morales style experience or something.
Yeah, I'll let that stand. Yeah.
Okay. Then Ron, with that thing, and this is going to come back when I do my second prediction. So I'm already teasing my second prediction here. I believe you're incorrect because I believe there is another game that is single player focused that is coming this year from Sony. So I'm going to give you 7 points on this one.
Okay.
I think
Okay.
I'm pretty confident they have something else this year, which I will talk about.
Okay.
Matt, what do you think?
I think I'm gonna go with the 3. I do feel like Ron's pretty on the money with this. There's no big other first party game from Sony that I know of. But that being said, perhaps there's a smaller title or from one of the smaller studios that I'm not familiar with that might surprise me that could come out. I mean, like I don't think any of us predicted about Astrobot coming out. It got announced last year. It came out, so something like that could happen. That's why I'll give you a 3. It's not. I'm being more generous. Here's a 3, not a 1.
No,
Okay?
that's
Just 'cause
understandable.
I
That's
could be wrong.
You went up 2
I'll give you a
points,
3.
Matt.
You're welcome.
My God. Fulia?
Okay. I'm kind of with Ryan in the sense that I don't think it's going to be the only thing coming out this year from PlayStation, from Sony. So, but I feel like even though they might be revealing that they might be making multiple things, maybe they're not all going to be released this year.
Yeah, like maybe something gets delayed or something.
Yeah. I'm gonna say 3 as well.
Oh.
I'm gonna say 3.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. All right. Good.
I can't wait to prove everybody wrong. It's gonna be great.
13 points for Ron if he's correct on that one. Ron's just trying to rack up the points here. All right, Matt. hit us with your second bold prediction.
I gave Ghost of Yotei the October slot because I think in September, Death Stranding 2 will be coming out. And it will not get a collector's edition like last time. No more babies. No more babies. But we will get a special edition DualSense controller. So it is coming out in September and launching with a controller.
Interesting. So no Mountain Dew collector's edition for
No collector's edition, no babies, no backpacks, no whatever. Like nobody wanted that thing. Like it's a great game, but nobody wanted that stuff. So it'll just be a beautiful.
Are you sure that nobody
DualSense
wanted
control
that? Because there's a lot of Kojima heads out there that probably wanted that. Probably bought it twice.
Nobody is proudly displaying that baby in a jar.
I'm sure someone
in their
is
man
somewhere.
cave or wherever they are.
I'm with Ryan. Somebody somewhere has that as like their avatar on their social media.
or has it on like their shelf behind them. Like
That's
this.
right. That's right.
No.
You know,
Nobody
Kojima
does.
has
Everyone
groupies.
put that back in the box.
Okay.
Okay. Interesting. All right. Fulia, we'll start with you. What do you think about Death Stranding 2 on the beach coming out in September?
In September? That might be pushing
And
it,
controller.
really.
And a
And
controller.
And a controller.
Yeah, that-
He's doubling down.
That degree of difficulty with the controller has me thinking it might be maybe a 6.
Yep.
I think.
Okay.
Because I don't know if it'll be releasing September. Like, there's a possibility that we might get some sort of reveal at the Summer Games Fest. I don't know. I'm gonna go with a 6.
Oh.
I'm gonna go with a 6. Yeah. Like, I don't think it's gonna come out in September. I feel like it might get pushed, and the whole idea of it coming with a limited edition controller, I don't know. Smelling
Whoa.
Concord vibes here.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Death
But it won't be
Stranding
as
2 is
bad.
She
not
put it in
smelling like
Concord. Good Lord.
Wow. That's ice cold, Fulia. Damn.
Koala, you ain't lying. Now. I ain't the biggest
I'm
Kojima
giving you
fan.
points
but
for
I-
difficulty, okay? You should be
Concord,
happy.
Whoa.
Now,
Whoa. Even Ron says that's a bit much there.
Yeah, that's a bit much.
That's a bit much.
Here's the thing, though. Here's
Wow.
the thing, right? I think if the game does come out this year, I don't know that the controller will come out at the same time. I feel like that might be either before or after the game releases, not at the same time.
You right?
Yeah.
Alright.
so first up, I'm gonna update y'all. Thanks to Seth in chat saying the baby is Bowser's avatar. To when I look it up, and sure enough, Bowser 13's avatar.
I told
is
you,
in fact
man.
the baby
I told you. I told you.
from Death Stranding. I don't think that those are going to happen. So I'm going to give you I'm going to give you 8 points for that because it'd be different if you just told me Death Stranding was coming out in September, and then I would maybe be closer to like 4. But the fact that it's leaning on this controller coming out along with it, it's adding degrees of difficulty to it, to where I'm like, that's not happening. I'm giving you this an 8.
I will proudly take a 0 if they do a collector's edition and don't do a controller. September, collector's edition, no controller. Give me the 0.
Matt just wants that baby.
Doing it.
Yes.
They're not doing the baby. They're not. They're not going to do it again. There's no
Right.
chance.
You'll see. You never know. Matt,
All right.
I'm going to have to
We'll
give
see.
you a 10 for this. There's no way in hell this is happening.
Ooh, 10.
No controller?
No controller. It ain't coming out in September. If you're going to stick to your Yotai in October, they don't want Yotai and Death Stranding 2 running into each other. It's not going to happen. No way in the world. Especially since Yotai is going to be the only PlayStation developed single player game releasing this year. So yeah, not happening. I'll give you a 10. I'll give you a 10 for that.
I like it. I like
Yes.
it. I'm going to rack up points for this one.
Yeah. All right, Fulia, hit us with our second prediction.
Okay. All right. Here we go. So, I predict that the State of Play will be happening in February.
Okay.
And we'll be seeing new trailers for Ghost of Yotei and for Death Stranding 2. This is my safest one, I think. This is my safest prediction.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So we're getting the State of Play next month. Mm-hmm. And we're getting some reveal trailers for Ghost of Yotei and for Death Stranding 2.
Now, I'm going to throw it out there. Nate the Hate, who correctly predicted when the Switch 2 reveal trailer shadow dropped, said that there's a state of play in February. So I am giving you 1 point for this one because of course they're going to show those 2 games there.
I would Ryan.
I'm giving you a 1.
I would Ryan.
But you know what? Flea is being very smart here though, because many years of me doing these predictions episodes, there are some years where only one person gets one thing right, which means if Flea is correct about this, she might be the only one who gets points. So
she was smart. She
this
did
is
research.
why I went with the safest.
She did research and probably saw.
I did research.
She probably listened to our RPG
Gets
cave
it on
and
point.
realized, Garrett got one thing right this year, so he literally got all the points for that. So
That's a very
That's all it
safe
takes.
pick, and I think that's exactly what's going to happen. I'll give you a 1.
okay,
Good job.
Yeah.
nicely job. But you gotta have a safe one every once in a while, I think.
Yeah, ain't nothing wrong with that. Guaranteed
You
points.
want to win, right? You want to
Gotta
win.
get guaranteed points sometimes.
Exactly.
Now,
Exactly.
you two down there, Matt and Ron, kept talking about the idea that, like, oh, you don't want to release Death Stranding and Ghost of Yotei on top of each other. Well, of course they're not going to, because I personally feel like Ghost of Yotei is actually coming out this summer, but that is not my current prediction. The reason I bring that up is because my next prediction is going to tell you what game is coming out this fall along with Death Stranding 2, and that's Marvel's Venom, a spin-off of Spider-Man 2 is coming out
You still think
this
that's coming, eh?
holiday. It's going to be Sony's big holiday
so.
game. It will launch this November. So it's going to be like a Miles Morales-sized game where you play as Venom and you do Venom things in the city of New York, and it's going to be cool. Coming out this November. What do y'all think? Starting with Ron.
I'll give you a 4 on that one.
Interesting.
Give
Interesting.
you a 4 on that because I think there's a small possibility it could happen.
Yeah,
But I also think that may have been, canceled and put in the ground. We'll see.
maybe. Along with that Spider-Man multiplayer game that looked pretty cool.
Yeah,
Oh,
we'll
God.
see. We'll see.
Okay. Matt?
I think I'm gonna go with a 5, just because
Okay.
a part of me feels like it's possible. I mean, we know Insomniac is, like they've been carrying Sony this generation. Let's put it that way. If there's any studio that can be putting out quality games, game after game, it's Insomniac. So it's quite possible. However, a part of me feels like it's not happening just because we really haven't heard or seen anything from Wolverine, and I feel like they're really focusing on making that a huge success, and that's why I feel like Ron's possibly right with it. The Venom, spin-off being canceled just so that he can focus on making Wolverine a good game. So, because I'm really not sure, I'm really on the fence. 5 points, my friend.
Okay. Okay. Interesting. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't have to be Insomniac making it. It could be another studio. Like, it could be Nix's or someone else doing that, too. So, there are options if it doesn't have to necessarily be Insomniac. But, Fuya, round us out here. What do you think about Marvel's Venom?
I'm going to be. I think I'm with Matt because I just considering that there might be like the whole Ghost of Yotei, Death Stranding 2. They're big. That's a big stuff. Like big games coming. Venom. I feel like that might be pushed back until 2026. I think.
Yeah. Like, it only really works if Ghost of Yotei comes out this summer. Like, that's what I'm
Yeah,
banking
exactly.
on with this prediction.
Yeah. So I'm gonna say I think I'm gonna also give you a 5 as well, just because like it could happen, and then you get all the points. But then I'm like, yeah, but if they've got like some big games coming, I don't know whether they'll stack the second half of the year with all of these games.
Yeah.
Plus DLC.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough. There we go. I'm going to eat up all these points. I'm so excited to get 14 points out of this one, especially because like I'm even more convinced this is happening because they're not they canceled the normal DLC for Spider-Man 2. So I feel like instead of doing that, they're just going to do this instead while we wait for Wolverine. Like I that's kind of what I feel like the timeline, because as we talked about earlier, I feel like Wolverine's probably late 2026, early 2027 at this point. So I feel like this is kind of like their game kind of in between that. But especially because, as Seth points out in the chat, the engine's already there and all the mechanics are set in place because you play, you can play as Venom. So, I mean, it makes sense. But Ron, third and final prediction, my friend. Round us
My
out.
last prediction is going to be my boldest one. I think before the year is over, Sony is going to cancel Marathon and close up Bungie.
Ooh.
Oh my God. Going out on an depressing note there.
Just saying.
Yikes.
Just saying. Bungie's been nothing but drama, nothing but problems since they acquired them. What have they really done for Sony to say, gosh, what a great acquisition that was? So, yeah. Project Gummy Bears was a Bungie thing until Sony took it away from them and gave it to an unknown PlayStation studio. So I'm just saying, all the building blocks are there for it to happen. So I think they're gonna close up shop on that.
Now, are we going to allow partial points on this if Marathon is canceled but the studio doesn't close? Because I probably would say no, but
I'm okay with partial points.
Fulia, you have to be the tiebreaker on this.
No pressure.
All the pressure.
No, I think both have to happen. I think both have to happen.
I think so too.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm glad I take a 0 for that.
Which is why I'm going to just start off and just give you a 10 because this is not happening. They are keeping Bungie open even if they cancel Marathon. They're not closing
All right,
Bungie.
we'll see.
Even though they're not on a good streak right now. I think they're keeping Bungie around.
All right.
Yeah. Matt?
I'm on the fence on this one. I'm gonna go with the 5. I
Okay.
feel like it's unlikely in the sense like at the same time, Sony's been canceling a lot of stuff.
That's right. We
And,
thought Concord was going to get canceled after a week. Just saying.
Yep.
Yeah, that's unprecedented. So Ron's prediction's not totally out of left field because I mean you go back 7 months ago, if somebody said like, hey, they're gonna spend what was it, 300 million? Was that the budget for Concord?
Yeah.
Release it and then literally cancel it and take it off the service? I'd be like, no. I said that they would slowly stop supporting it, but to actually remove it from the store, that's unheard of. Here we are.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot, Jim Ryan. Okay, or whoever, I don't know, whatever. It's still Jim's fault. Doesn't matter. Anyway,
It is Jim's fault.
I feel it is. It's anything bad is Jim's fault, right? Anyways, I feel like it's a 5 just because it's quite possible that Sony's just like, you know what, we just need to dial it in and just get focused on
That's right.
what we're good at. So
Just remember,
5
Bungie's claim to
points.
fame so far, since they've been under Sony, is shutting down factions. That's it.
They had a couple
Oh,
good
God.
Destiny expansions. Anyways, Fulia, round us out here. How many points are we giving Ron for this one?
I'm gonna say a 7.
A 7? I thought you was going to
Yeah.
go for 10.
Nah, I'm gonna say 7. I don't know. Like, it's just where my gut feeling's hitting.
Okay, I was about to say, give me that 10 so I can get all them points.
But also, I have no idea about Marathon, and I don't really know very much about Bungie.
I'll fill
so-
you in. Marathon is trouble development right now. So,
It's a
That gives
live
me
service
no
first person
context at
shooter.
all.
yeah, it's in trouble development right now.
It's
So
it's
just
a live service first person shooter that they're developing.
Right. Okay.
Oh boy.
Yeah, I'll stick with the 7. It's fine.
Okay.
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 You sure you don't want to bump it to a 9? No?
No.
All right, Matt, you're up, man.
All right. My final prediction, I think, is a safe one, or at least I need to will it into existence. So if
Fair
you don't
enough.
say, it's not going to happen. So at the next Sony showcase, which I think we all agreed because we all gave ones for it, it's coming on February. I think they will in fact announce that Starfield is coming to PlayStation and shadow dropping at the showcase. I
Shadow
feel like
dropping.
this. I think it would be foolish for Bethesda to advertise and be like, "But you got to wait for it." It's like, well, why? The game, the game's ready, is it not? It's just bring it to PlayStation Nation. Why we gotta wait for it? And to be quite frank, listen, I'm a Bethesda guy. I'm excited for it, but I don't, from what I recall, I don't think Starfield made the splash that Bethesda was hoping it would for. And I think it'd be very unwise of them to use the platform at the showcase and then to advertise it to say it's coming out in like a month or a couple of months. Like, if you want the excitement, it's like, it's ready, go buy it right now. Because it's a surprising factor. That's the best way to do it. And I feel like they need to use the showcase platform so that it get more eyes on, because again, Starfield did not make the mark that they wanted to. Whereas, I'll be quite frank, other Xbox games that that we're pretty sure are coming to PlayStation. Like all they gotta do is put it on Blue Sky. Master Chief Collection is coming. Gears of War is coming. Everyone's jumping on that. I'm jumping on it.
Yep.
Right?
Same.
But for
Same.
Starfield,
I'll buy it again.
Starfield, see? The Starfield, you might need a little clever advertising in the showcase when PlayStation Nation's got their eyes on. It's like, okay, cool. And it's shadow dropped. So that is my prediction.
Okay.
Interesting. One prediction, I will just throw it out there before we get to points there, that I'm not going to use was similar to that, where Halo the Master Chief Collection will shadow drop on PS5 and Switch 2 when it's announced during Nintendo's Summer Direct this year. Like, because I think you're right that Starfield will come to PlayStation 5 this year, but I don't think it's going to be shadow dropped next month, which is why I'm giving you an 8 on this one, Matt. Because I think it will come, but I think your timing is not going to happen. So that's why I think I'm giving you an 8 on this one. I think it's pretty. It's not super likely to happen during a PlayStation State of Play because they haven't really announced any Microsoft games during a State of Play. So I don't expect this will change things. But Fulia, what do you think about this?
Starfield coming to PlayStation, was it this year?
The shadow drop during the February State of Play.
Oh,
Next
yeah.
month.
You're,
February.
shadow dropping. Yeah, no. No shadow drops. Maybe an announcement saying, hey, it's coming. But I don't think it'll be shadow dropped. So this is going to be this is a 9. This is my highest point for you, Matt.
Almost.
9.
Oh, you give Matt a 9, but I couldn't get one? Oh, pause.
Nope. Sorry, Ron. Ron, what are you giving Matt on this
9?
one?
I'm gonna give Matt a 10. I'm gonna give him a 10. It's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen on the PlayStation show. It's not gonna happen on the Xbox show. Xbox is gonna stick that right on Blue Sky in a post.
Or to
they're
my
gonna say-
approach, I think they're more likely to announce something like this during a Nintendo Direct for Switch 2 that also is coming to PlayStation than during PlayStation's show. That's just how I feel about it.
All right.
Maybe so.
Give me all
like
the
Hi-Fi
points.
Rush.
Give me all the
It's gonna
points.
be a social media post, Matt. And they're gonna say whatever date it's gonna come, and there you go.
What a sad way to announce that, but you could be right, but we'll see.
Interesting.
We'll see.
Just say you're gonna have a lot of people that are gonna be pissed about that. So, yeah, they don't need that happening. They don't want to hear that.
Cool. Fulia, hit us with your third final prediction.
Okay, this one's going to be, it's not my boldest, but it's also not my safest either. It's kind of in the middle. Okay. So I think that during Astrobot's first year anniversary, which is September, Team Asobi is going to add some new DLC, and that is going to be a kind of like a celebration level with the new maybe 1 or 2 characters.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. Because we know new Astrobot DLC is coming, but like I've been curious to see what form it's going to take. So I'm curious. So I think that would be pretty cool. I also think it's very likely, so I'm going to give you a 3 for that one for you.
Okay.
I mean, I would love to play it though. I'm just going to add
Yeah.
that. I will the second they add that, I'm immediately reinstalling that game. And I'm just going to play it. It's going to be awesome. But, Ron, what do you think, man?
I'll give Koala 5. I won't be surprised to see some extra levels added, but the celebration thing I'm not too sure about. But I'll give her a 5 because there's a very good possibility it may happen.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Matt?
I'll take it.
1 point. Certified. Definitely happening.
Wow.
Okay.
Team is so. You're right. It's a compliment that you're right. Giving people ones. You should be happy. You're welcome.
The one time I feel like Amanda.
I was going to say,
I
Matt has
agree
turned
with
into
you.
Amanda. It means he's believing
just
me because
saying.
you're 1.
Yes, I believe you. Team Asobi, PlayStation, they're not gonna let this slide. They're gonna continue riding the Astrobot train. Like you said, the anniversary is a perfect time to do a little marketing on Blue Sky. Say, hey, 2024's Game of the Year. We got some new levels. Celebrate. Don't forget about us because this is a new PlayStation mascot. Easy way, and like you said, put in some levels, anniversary stuff. Bam, number 1.
Maybe I should change my score to a 9 because Team Sobi is going to be assigned to do a live service game. They're not going to have time for
Wow.
extra levels.
Stop it. Stop it.
Oh, God.
Herman's going to tap them on the shoulder and be like, hey, guys, don't you want to do a battle royale?
Oh god.
Astrobot Battle
Please.
Royale, I would play that.
Please,
I don't
Herman,
care. I will take
don't
all
do
the
this.
spin-offs of Astrobot. Astrobot Battle Royale,
No.
Koala
Astrobot
got mad
Golf,
quiet. She was like, no.
Astrobot
No.
Tennis,
No.
Astrobot Kart. I want all those. Just give me all those.
We are not getting an Astrobot.
I'm just
Battle
joking,
Royale.
Herman.
not gonna
I'm just
give you my
joking. Don't you
money.
dare. You
Yeah.
leave Team Asobi alone.
I'm not giving you my money for that one. No.
All right. Well, here is my third final prediction, and I was actually leaving this one specifically to the end because I didn't want to steal it from Matt in case he predicted this one. Because I thought if anyone was going to predict this prediction, it would be him. At a state of play
Go for it.
this year, either during their summer state of play or their fall state of play, Sony will announce part of their state of play that Resident Evil 9, starring Rose, will be announced and will be given a release date in January of 2026. That's my prediction.
It has to be starring Rose Winters.
Has to be
Or is it
starring
partial
Rose
points?
Winter.
No partial?
No partial.
Okay. Because I agree that's going to be shown at that showcase that you said in the fall. I agree it's going to be January 2026. Rose Winters?
Has to be. I think it will be.
Oh,
Even after that DLC, I think it will be her.
I love Rose Winters. I love Ethan Winters. I think he's a phenomenal protagonist, and I love that storyline. I don't think Capcom does. I don't think they do. I think they're going to play it safe. And here's more Leon,
Please
Jill,
no.
Chris.
He said,
I know.
I just don't want Leon again. We've had Leon so many times. I want someone
I know
else.
that.
Oh my god.
I don't want it either. But they're just gonna play it safe. So because you're saying it's Rose Winters as the protagonist,
Yep.
I'll give you an 8. I'll give you an 8. I don't think it's gonna be Rose.
Now I will.
I don't think so.
Now I don't know if this changes anything, Matt. I want to put in there. Rose will be at least one of the playable protagonists. If there happens to be two, she will be one of the two. Just throwing it out there. Does that change your
Yes.
point, Quidolbo?
Yes, because Capcom would play it safe. It's like, well, I got Leon to,
Because
bring
if it
in the
was
mass
Leon
audience,
and
but
Rose
we
going
want-
on adventure, because like
There you go.
that still counts too. But
Okay, then in that case, I adjust my score. If Rose is a protagonist, I will give you a 6.
when I say playable
give you 6.
protagonist, I mean playable protagonist. Like she will have
Yes.
she will be playable
Yeah.
in the story. Okay.
6.
Okay. Well, Ron, what do you think?
I think I'm willing to give a 6 on that. I think it's a possibility it's going to happen, but I also think that it might be a sweet potato exclusive for Resident Evil 9.
Interesting.
You think so? Really? No.
Will they
come
bring
on.
back the chainsaw controller for the Switch 2? Is that going to be a thing?
Wow.
I don't
would
see
be
that
shocked.
happening.
I don't think so.
Okay. Fuya, round us out. How many points?
So I had a feeling you were going to mention Resident Evil. If it wasn't you, it was going to be Matt. And
One of us was going to.
yeah, one of you.
I was surprised that Matt didn't throw that or near 3 in there, but yeah.
Near 3 ain't happening.
That's
Now,
trying to
considering
win.
considering the fact that I know nothing about the Resident Evil series and I don't know who this character is, I'm just going to throw out a 5.
Perfect. That works for me.
Okay, nothing wrong with that. Middle ground. That's cool. That's
Yeah.
all right.
Cool. Well, that rounds out our predictions, ladies and gentlemen. We had some good ones tonight. I'm very, very excited to go back and listen to this a year from now, tally up the points, and we'll then for next year's show, we'll go back and list all these off and then crown the winner
Yeah.
this time next year. So please be excited for that. Let's, of course, get to the carpool questions because, of course, the folks in the carpool community also predicted, such as Tim Paullin, who predicted Microsoft secretly buys a controlling stake in shares in Sony, puts all PlayStation games on Xbox just for fun.
Never happened.
That's
was
a
a
10.
That was a
okay.
good joke.
But, yeah, love you, Tim, but that's not happening. No.
I'm sorry,
10.
Ron. Did you just refer to that as a yoke?
Yeah, good yoke.
Like, so you did the soft J thing. Yeah, you made fun of everyone else for being like Yawn 32, but then you do the same thing with yoke.
Nope. So here's the wrong thing here. Here, where we come from, when you say good yolk, that means it's a bad joke, as of egg yolk. So that handles that.
Oh, is that what that means?
Yeah,
Egg
yeah.
yolk. Like
I
egg
don't
on
do
your
that
face.
soft J crap.
I had a feeling that's what you meant. Like,
Yeah.
I
had a
did too,
feeling.
but I felt like I needed to at least point it out because I know someone will write in
that
the
ain't
comments.
happening. That ain't happening here. Like you said, man, good try.
Yep. Now, the real question is, see, Sean's already chiming in the chat. One of us.
Not happening, Shy. Tim's my guy, though. Old Kings for life.
Good God. All right. Moving on to the rest of us. Quaggy says, so will Sony hard pivot from live services games completely? I think Sony should produce some service games, but also produce some single player bread and butter style games. I think Sony's issue is that they have to be all in on live service. Just to do a little bit of both isn't going to work. Also, this is Quaggy, king of the Xenobabes. He needed to put that in there.
He did. He did. Like we don't know.
Yeah.
Just in case.
Just in case. Yeah, I mean, I think your comment is spot on, Quaggy. I feel like if they're going to do live service, they kind of have to go all in on it, but they don't. That doesn't necessarily mean all their games have to be live service. It just means one studio has to be kind of devoted to live service. And if that live service game flops, I mean, it's tough. It's tough to nail that because there's so many choices out there that it's just hard to break into that market. So that's interesting, an interesting point. But yeah, moving on. We got Blackwyver with their own set of predictions saying Insomniac will continue to carry the generation this year. Rest of the team at Sony will do nothing, especially Naughty Dog. That's apparently a prediction. Next up, at some stage, we'll hear about the future of the Uncharted franchise, a reboot or spinoff or sequel. And now my question for the show. I'm back in the God of War Ragnarok world, playing the DLC Valhalla. So, what is your favorite Kratos weapon? The Blades of Chaos or the Leviathan Axe?
Blades.
Good
Yeah.
God. That was
Oh.
quick.
You didn't even have to think about it.
Yeah, you ain't lying.
Honestly,
Holy
the
moly.
Blades of Chaos were so much more fun to use than the axe. No joke. It's just a lot more quicker actions. You know, you've got better looking actions as well. I as soon as I was able to use those, I was all in for Blades of Chaos.
Nice.
Okay.
I'm also with Fulia. I also prefer the Blades of Chaos. But I am also very much a old school God of War fan versus new school. So the Blades of Chaos are just so much more sentimental to me, and also just more my play style anyways. Because I just, again, like fast action games. And the Leviathan Axe is a little bit slower, a little bit clunkier, and I just don't like it as much. Ron or Matt?
I'm going to say neither. The drop near spear
Oh?
is the bomb. People sleep on that. That spear, especially when you sit there and really got it leveled up and knew how to use it, I was giving people that work toward the end of that game with that spear. So the drop near spear is definitely better than both of those.
But
They both
that's
got
not the
sentimental
question
places.
here. That's not the question.
Hey,
Blackwyver says pick
neither.
one of these. Pick one. Blackwyver's like specifically pick one of these two, and you pick a different one.
Submit, no. The drop near spear. You're wrong. You're wrong for both of those. John's got my back. Yeah, John.
Don't you mean Yon 32?
No, John.
I'm sorry, I don't remember this spear. Where did that come in?
You probably didn't get.
You haven't
far enough
played
in the game.
Ragnarok.
Oh, okay, that's probably why.
Yeah, because I don't know about it either. So
Yeah, Koala. When you finally get around to Ragnarok, you'll see.
Matt,
If.
please save us
That's
and
a big
actually
if.
give us an answer to this question that fits in the box they give us.
Well, yeah, I have not played Ragnarok, so I too am unfamiliar with the spear, so I'm very excited to check it out. And I'm torn on this one. This one's hard because if I'm looking at it just in terms of gameplay, it's the axe. Just that weight, the way it feels when you summon the axe, the way you just crush people with it, it is so satisfying. However, because I've played the OG God of War, the Blades of Chaos, there's history to these blades. And, you know, spoiler alert for God of War 2018, you know, when you get back the blades, like it is an emotional, pivotal point in that game. So it is very hard for me now, but I gotta pick one. And when I saw this question, I was like, how do I FE this Yon 32? How do I do one full
No.
experience? I really can't. I tried.
No.
I can't. Even I can't justify it. I can't. No one FE on this one. I can't. So I'm gonna go with the Leviathan Axe, even though my heart goes for the blades, but in terms of like what is the most fun and satisfying to use, it is still the axe. It is
That's
still
all
the
right.
axe.
When you play Ragnarok, you're going to change your mind. We'll revisit.
It's fine.
Right.
You're,
Yep,
you're
we'll
the
pin it.
only one
We'll
on
pin
this PlayStation podcast that's played God of War Ragnarok, Ron. It's fine.
That's fine. Eventually he'll play it.
Eventually, I'll play. That's true.
Will we?
That is true.
I'm not the only one to play one game. He'll be
Is
fine.
it in Matt's front log? Is that what's happening?
No, Matt doesn't do that.
No,
I
will buy
understand
it
the front
eventually.
log now.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, Fulia's on board. She understands.
Just because she said she understands it doesn't mean she's on board with it.
Yeah.
I could be. You don't know.
Are you?
Maybe. Maybe not.
On the fence.
I ain't
All right.
giving you an
Get a
answer.
definitive answer. What the hell?
And our final question of the show comes to us from Kiku, who says, "You're in an RPG, and your party is made up of your fellow co-hosts. Which classes would they be, and why?"
Good Lord, a question right from the jump.
You're
Fully's
gonna
ready.
have to give me the classes because I don't play many RPGs. So
Well, Kiku didn't give us any classes either, so we kind of have
I
to
guess we have to go with the
make this
traditional
up.
ones, I guess.
Pick your classes.
Yeah, so I will say for our party, let's say, like the warrior, like the tank person, the mage, this is spellcaster, the healer, and then you'd have like a ranger, like a someone with a bow or a ranged attack, or like a rogue or something like that. So I would say those are kind of like the 4 rules to heal, like 2 damage healers, 1 tank, and 1 healer. You know, a traditional MMO party, of course. Final Fantasy 14 size party, if I might say so myself. Well, I would say Ron's the tank. Ron is the warrior type character. I think Ron's leading the charge. You know, he's the leader of the party. Ron's the leader of the PlayStation Drive. We all know this. So he's running in there with his shield. He's taking the enemy's attacks. He's like leading the charge, as one might say. Fuya, I think you're the healer of the party. You're trying to keep morale high. You're healing our wounds during our battle. You're the healer, I think. Matt, I feel like you're kind of like the sneaky attacker or like the bow person. So I would say you're either like a rogue or a ranger, whichever you prefer. And then I'm like the spellcaster because I like spellcasters. And that's my only answer for that. It's also my, when I compare it to my RPG Cave character class, which is Dark Lord, that's my real character class, is the Dark Lord. Because I'm evil, but I also cast evil spells. So there you go. Does anyone have any, dissension among this, or do you have any differing opinions on this?
Mine goes right along with yours. I like warrior and tank characters. Koala healer, you the spellcaster, Matt the rogue, perfect, sneaky. He's a thief. So yeah.
There you go.
It fits him.
And of course, Ron agreeing 100% means that my assessment of him being the leader of the PlayStation Drive is true.
No, not that part.
I said it. You said yes. You said yes.
Not that part. Just the classes. Just the classes.
It's official. You heard it here first. Ron not only believes in soft J's,
my
but
goodness.
he also believes that he's the leader of the PlayStation Drive.
Oh Lord, mercy. Hold on.
Oh, wow.
okay, mine differs only 50%.
Okay.
So I agree that Ron is definitely the warrior, and Ryan, you're the spellcaster. I
Let's be
feel
fast
like
with spell.
Matt would be the healer, being that he's
Really?
very very close with his kids, and he's a very good dad, and he just makes sure looks after them, and and all that sort of stuff. So I feel like he would definitely be a really good healer. Yes, Ron.
Ma'am, I'll have you know that in RPGs, fantasy movies, fantasy books, that the thieves and the rogues are oftentimes the best dads.
That's
wanna
also
put that
true.
out there. Yeah.
That's also true.
I just want to put that out there. So, but hey, good choice. He's a healing type of
choices.
guy. It's all right.
Yeah, definitely a healer.
And he doesn't have to be a rogue or a thief specifically. He can be
No.
he can be a ranger if he prefers.
Or he could
like
dual class if you want to get specific and get all technical.
There we go.
Here we go.
Depends on the RPG.
To be
And
fair,
that's where
I'm
I-
usually like a mage / fighter. So like a shaman from World of Warcraft is usually my type of class I like to play in RPGs.
And this is where I come in, and I feel like I'd be a really good ranger. Like I like doing like distance shots, so I feel like as
I see.
and I like archery. It's fun. So I would like
alright.
to be the ranger. Yeah.
Okay.
But you don't like blood though.
Mine,
So What's up with that? I mean,
No, well, at least with being a ranger, like you don't have to see it. So
Are you
close up,
trying to
so-
say, Ron, that as the healer healing our wounds, she wouldn't have to see blood?
she'll close her eyes. She can just aim her hand and just heal us. That ranger, she's gonna have to get down and dirty.
If you're
She's
a
gotta
healer,
get in there.
if you're a healer, you're basically like the doctor of the party. So like, you gotta see blood.
Fully will do it differently. She'll be
Matt,
out there
you
about
tried to
Ralph the
chime
whole
in.
time she's doing it.
Let's go to Matt real quick.
Mine are a little bit different. I'm gonna stick with the yes. Rod is gonna be the tank. He's gonna get up and close, break skulls. He's got the brute force. Ryan, I would put in the class of a thief, just because I do know that when Ryan plays RPGs, he likes to sneak around and level up thieving skills. We know Fulia is a master at evading, so I'm gonna make her a warrior who evades very closely. And then as for myself, I'm thinking of these skills like in Fallout 4, where what is it? Evader? I'm
Yeah,
making up a
there
new
are such
class.
things as dodge
That's
tanks.
fully-
I had plenty of those in the Trails games. So yeah.
That's
There
a
you go.
druid from World of Warcraft, Ron, or a monk.
Oh, okay. See, I'm not up on the World of Warcraft stuff, but yeah, dodge tanks exist, so you're fine.
Yeah.
That does Fulia's class. And then for myself, I'm thinking about Fallout 4, where I would be focusing on leveling up my skill for chit-chatting and getting my way out of situations. So when we run into an enemy encounter, I will try to talk our way out of it. And if I fail, the three of you will go in and save me
Oh.
with being a tank.
So your charisma is not high enough.
So you're gonna have good charisma,
I'm
but
gonna
you're
try
not
to
gonna be
rank
able to
it up.
fight anything. You're just gonna stand there and just talk to people.
No, I can't fight. That is
That's
a
going to
fact.
be a horrible build, Matt. you can't have high charisma and can't fight just in case.
So our
charisma,
party
that's
has no healers. It has 2 warriors and a thief. So no one can heal our wounds, and a person in our party who just talks.
This is going to be a long,
Sorry.
tough
All in.
RPG.
We're gonna die. We're gonna die very easily.
Oh man,
That's hilarious.
I want to play this game.
what a great game.
That's like doing a Final Fantasy 1 run because they let you pick all the character classes for your characters, and you're just picking all martial artists and being like, all right, let's see how this goes.
See what happens.
Man,
Oh,
That's
so
what I
Kia
think.
makes a good point. So Matt's a bard.
Yeah.
That's what the bards do.
yeah,
I'll
good
take
job, Kia.
Thank you.
It's exactly what he is.
But the bard kind of fits into like the thief / archer kind of role. Like
Oh,
they're
my
kind of
goodness
in
gracious.
similar camps because they usually fight as well as tell stories. about
Yeah,
stuff.
they tell stories. They do.
Yeah. Kind of like Chris Pine from the Dungeons and Dragons movie because he's a bard in that movie.
Which is a good movie, by the way. It's a
It
good
is. It is. It's almost as good as House of the Dead, Uwe Boll's House of the Dead, but not quite as good. But, anyways, this has been the RP. What are you talking? Oh, I mean, we were just talking about RPG, so I thought
got thrown off.
It broke my brain.
A lot of RPGs.
Oh man, this is of course the PlayStation drop. When of course we're rounding out the show by saying thanks to all of our patrons over at Patreon.com/CarpoolGaming, starting with our ultimate producers. Jonathan Brown, the man behind the music on our podcast, as well as the Xbox Drive. I was very close to saying Jonathan Brown, but I didn't want to offend anyone. So I said Jonathan Brown.
JP.
The link to all of his music is over at, of course, linktree/pme.gib. He's got a brand new album, Me, Myself, and I. You should go check it out. It's pretty good. So make sure to head on over there. And, of course, he does our theme song on our podcast as well as the Xbox Drive. So shout out to Yabe. Cwagmire, who humbly reminds you that the best babes are, in fact, Xenobabes. And TechMike, who says whether you're Kevesi or Agnian, you're a Xenobabe at heart. Links
right.
to all of our ultimate producers can always be found in the description of our podcast. Our platinum producers, Smokin Joe, Solo, the Captain, and Tim Paullin. And our gold members, Adam K, Anna, Awesome Dave 1337, Brad Moore, Brian Reese, Cecily Carrozza, Dan and Luma, Dannohh, Emily Kelly, John 32, Ligerwoods 330, OldMrFrump, Patrice Mallette, Peje, Shane Erickson, Stephen Keller, TheDonRob, the Jiggy Collector, and Toxic. Huge thank you once again to all of our patrons over at patreon.com/carpoolgaming. And if you want to head on over there and, of course, hop in the car with us, choose the tier that's right for you. And save us, please. Run, plugs, go.
Savoy Prime on all the things. PSN, Xbox, Steam, Blue Sky, Backlogged, True Trophies, PSN profiles.
Matt, where can people find you?
You can find me as Nagachaka in the Carpool Gaming Discord, on Blue Sky, and on X.
And Fulia?
You can find me on Blue Sky and Instagram at Foolish Fuji. You can also find me on Twitch and YouTube at Foolish Fuji. And if you want to find out more about the things I do, jump on over to foolishfuji.com. Otherwise, there's also foolishfuji.card.co.
Card.co. Now, Fulia, since you listened to the show last week, did you like the
Yes.
fact that we, of course, did the card.co even without you being here?
Just
Yes,
for you. Just for you.
it made me smile.
Excellent. Worth it.
Yep. So glad we did that wrong. But as for me, you can't find me on any social media because I'm not on all social media, but I am on Discord at Ryan Turford. You can also find me on Backlogged at Ryan Turford as well. I'm putting up there all the games that I've been playing and writing little reviews of them. And I'm gonna promote something a little bit different. You can also find me over on moxfield.com at Mirage 196, where I'm building a ton of Magic the Gathering decks, because that's a thing now that I do, because I'm going to a Magic the Gathering event this week, and I'm building a lot of decks for it. So if you want to go look at Magic the Gathering decks, go over to moxfield.com /Mirage 116. But for Fulia, Matt, and Ron, I'm Ryan. This has been the PlayStation Drive episode 183, and we're out. Good night, everybody.
Adios, friends. Bye. Thanks for checking out this week's episode of the PlayStation Drive. Now, before you drive off, please make sure to like and subscribe on YouTube and follow us at Carpool Gaming on socials. Don't forget to check out our awesome merch on carpoolgaming.com, and you can also support the show on Patreon at patreon.com/carpoolgaming, where you'll unlock all kinds of exclusive content. Links to everything are in the description.